Oh, that's better. You guys can see me better now. All right. So we're getting after it. We're in the middle of week 16. Oh. It was a tough wake up this morning because legs yesterday was intense. So tired, but feel good. Everything is working the way it should, so just getting after it. But all is well. Just trying to keep things going here, so. Typical Wednesday for me. So rest day off weights. We got our early morning fasted cardio. Here 30 minutes, speed of 3.2, incline around 6.5, 6.5. And that's it. We just go after it. The idea is no hands. We want to be firmly in zone 2, so the idea is we should be able to keep a conversation going with the chat, no problem. But just after a few sentences, maybe having to take a little bit of a breath. But for the most part, easy peasy. We're not sprinting, running long distance, anything like that. I like doing this because you can show like what zone 2 actually looks like. Because a lot of people talk about zone 2 for fat loss and whatever, and it's all great, but it's just a sound, right? Doesn't really tell anybody what that means. So this allows me to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. And what zone 2 actually looks like. So welcome in, appreciate you being here. Hope you guys are doing well. We're just getting after our fasted cardio this morning. This is day 3 of week 16 of our program. Off day, so we did legs last night. Early morning cardio, it's about 5:40 here. 5:45 in the morning. And yeah, we're just getting it in, hanging out, chatting. Hope you guys are doing well. If you're new here, please drop a subscribe, a like, comment. All of it helps me out a ton. We have a goal of 200 by end of May. We're at 146 now, so we're slowly getting there. Good to answer any questions or whatever around fitness, health, supplements, basically anything. Just let me know what you guys are thinking about. But overall, feel pretty good for 16 weeks in. Probably about 2 weeks away from another deload week. Callum, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All of our weights got heavier. So we had our first cheat day in like a full year. Yeah, this last week. So all my weights Monday and yesterday were like quite a bit heavier. Track everything in my training log, so overall I feel good. But if you guys have any questions around health, fitness, whether it's workout plans, nutrition, supplements, whatever, drop them in the chat there and I'll happy to help you answer anything. There's no question too big, too small. Part of what I want to do here is just help kind of clear up any misconceptions or misunderstandings around health and fitness that social media pushes. Either way, if you guys are wondering, schedule stays about the same all the time. Monday, Tuesday afternoon is our lifts, our heavy lifts for strength. Wednesday mornings, like today, early morning cardio, and that's it for today. Day off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are all afternoon lifts. And then Saturday, Sunday are early morning cardio as well. So Saturday you get 2 streams. Sunday 1, and there's at least a stream every day. And that's what we're building here. Trying to hit 200 subscribers by end of May. We're at 145 right now, 146. Slowly growing, but that's the idea. If you guys are into that, into health and fitness and just cool people hanging out and chatting, drop a subscribe, a like, a comment. It all helps out a huge amount. Appreciate you guys showing up and being here. It means a lot to me. And yeah, if you guys do have any questions around health, fitness, nutrition, stuff like that, drop it in the chat and I'll help answer it for you. I've been training and certified trainer for over 20 years. Certified nutrition for over 15. And yeah, just more recently, licensed mental health behavior practitioner around cognitive behavioral therapy. So, and I got a lot of experience trying and failing in the fitness arena. So if I can help you guys kind of miss some of the things that pitfalls that people fall into, happy to do that as well. So. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here either way as we get this cardio finished. So we're going to be about the idea of having cardio, even though we're trying to gain mass, is just keeping our steps up on our days that we're off for rest and recovery. So this will add probably 3,000, 3,500 steps to our day that we otherwise wouldn't have had. And it's intense enough to get a bit of a sweat going, but not so intense that we're like, you know, aerobic or anything. It's all anaerobic. That's kind of the idea, right? That's the point. So, but overall, I feel better too when keeping it in my program. That's like one of the big things. So I try to keep it in all the time because, again, we're in week 16, so there's 2 weeks left. And then we'll have a deload week, and we jump right into cutting for the summer. So next program works out. And yeah, so I keep it in because like I hate going from like what I used to do in my younger days is like bulk cut, and going right from bulking and doing zero cardio to a cut where I kind of start out with like 3 to 4 days a week. It always felt really hard to like stick to, or really inconvenient, because I'm not a fan of Same as some people don't really like to lift, right? Some people aren't big fans of lifting, but can run all day. I'm the opposite. I love lifting. I could lift for hours, but if you tell me we're getting together to run 10K, wouldn't be on the top of my priority list for sure. But yeah, when you jump into it from being off cardio for like 16, 18, 20 weeks, and you all of a sudden hop into like 2-3 days a week, it sucks. So that's what we're trying to avoid by keeping it in, keeping some sort of cardio health and heart health. And then when we jump into our cut 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, it'll be a pretty smooth transition. And that's basically it. It's that simple. Not crazy, but appreciate you guys being here. Getting after it, we're getting up to about halfway. At the very least, it helps me with like doing cardio and how boring it can be. Doing this and talking to Chad is a huge help. So that's one thing I would say to you guys. If you guys have like a fitness plan or you're working towards a fitness goal and one of your roadblocks is just the boringness of sitting on a cardio machine to get steps in and stuff, try starting to live stream. Helps. I met some really cool people on here. We've built a pretty cool community of good people. So yeah, just that alone. And like I'm already halfway and it felt like I haven't done anything, to be honest. So and the cheat code is steps. If you're on like a fitness journey or you want to start getting on one, the cheat code that I'll tell you by far, you can talk about the best program, the best diet, all this nonsense that everybody on here is trying to pitch you and sell you, and you know, the best course, whatever it is. The real cheat code is just steps. If you're new to this and you're unsure what to do, just get doing like a zone 2 walk every day. Start at 30 minutes and slowly increase that up till you're doing like maybe 30 minutes a day, but an hour 2 to 3 times a week, and your physique will completely change. It's pretty much that simple. I know it sounds easier and more dumbed down than it should, and it kind of is, but the reality is, yeah, if you can do that for a few months, you will see a complete change in your physique and your health. Not just physique, but your health too, right? Which should be the prime reason for doing this, right? Right, we're getting after it again. We're about halfway. Overall, feel pretty good. When I'm doing this cardio, I get asked a lot about like, do I have any kind of supplement in my water and stuff? Because I'm doing fasted, even though I'm trying to gain lean mass. And I don't, just a little bit of salt, pinch of salt for some electrolytes, and that's basically it. Because you don't really need, like, again, a lot of the times these people telling you, oh, if you do your fasted cardio, you're gonna like lose muscle mass and stuff. Not exactly true. They're trying to scare you into buying their supplements or their course or their program, and that's not real. Especially at this kind of intensity. Sure, if you're like out here doing like 10, 15K on an empty stomach, probably not the best idea. Not going to really help you. That's going to be a bad choice. But in reality, if you're just getting some steps in, but a decent difficulty, zone 2, heart rate elevates, but doesn't, like, you can hear me, I can keep a conversation going with you guys. That's zone 2. That's the best point for fat loss, or the most efficient place you can be for fat loss. So yeah, you're not gonna lose muscle mass by doing 30-minute walk, even an hour. If you do an hour just getting steps in, not super crazy, you're gonna be fine. To me, the best thing you can do for weight loss is just track your steps and like rationally clean up your diet. I think the biggest thing is most people that have a fitness goal think, well, I have to cut out all the carbs. I have to cut out all the foods I like, and like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And that's not true. Like, just make a decision that I'm gonna eat 80% whole foods, like real foods, right? And like, that term's thrown around a lot, but what does that mean? It just means like legit real foods, like rice, potatoes, eggs, meat, vegetables, fruits. That's basically it. Those are all real foods, right? And just say, like, commit yourself to, like, if I eat 5 times a day, 4 of those times are going to be that. And obviously that like gets rid of your fast food and your takeout spots and stuff like that, because even though components of that are real food for sure, it's all, like, think about it, it's all processed poorly, right? Because if you, as an example, let's say you make extra lean ground beef into patties, and then you put it on a low carb bun, you cut up some potatoes into strips, put them in the air fryer, give them a little light spray of oil, and you cook that. That's 100 times better than stopping at a burger joint and grabbing a burger and fries, even though they're both the exact same components, right? They're both ground beef, they're both buns, they're both potatoes, and a little bit of oil. In the burger place case, it's a lot of bit of oil, but you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just make a commitment to yourself that, each day I'm gonna eat 80% of my food's gonna be legit real food, whatever that looks like. And then I'm gonna start with 20 minutes, half an hour of steps. And if you can do that like 5 to 6 days a week, promise you your health, your appearance is going to change dramatically over like a 2 to 3 month stint if you can just do that. I think people act like it's some brain melting science experiment to get fit and stay fit. I saw this lady yesterday, this doctor, and she's going on about like, oh, these bro science guys, calories in versus calories out, bro, don't understand what they're talking about, and stuff like that. And it blows my mind that a medical doctor would be saying this, because she's touting some random study that talks about metabolic adaptation, which is a thing. So she's right on that. But she's trying to spin it as this extreme drop that happens in every single person, and like that there's no causation behind that, right? That's the way she's trying to spin it, is just like, oh, well, if you start working out and eating in a calorie deficit, your weight loss is going to stop, and it's going to be extremely hard for you, which is like 3 big problems with that. 1, it's not true. 2, it's extremely unhelpful for the majority of the population. And 3, it lacks foresight and planning. And for someone to be a medical doctor saying that is crazy to me. to me, as like a medical professional background, you should be encouraging people to get healthier, no matter what that looks like, right? Instead of bashing their plans or bashing people that are actually trying to help them. So the part where she's right is, yes, you are gonna, as you, like, let's say you start a diet and you have a calorie deficit of 200 calories, right? Let's just say, for numbers sake, for ease of numbers sake. You need 2,200 calories a day, you eat 2,000. So over the course of the week, that's what, 1,400 calorie deficit. So not even a full pound of fat, which is fine. When you do lose weight, you want to be slow, go low and slow, because you don't want to lose your lean muscle mass. So that's still a deficit of 1,400 calories in a week, right? So you're looking at about every 2.5 weeks, you're gonna lose a pound of body fat, but you're still gonna maintain your muscle, right? Problem is, what she's saying, or what she's referring to on that study, is, let's say after 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, you've lost that pound of body fat. Now your body weight is less, it requires less energy for you to do the things you were doing with that pound of fat. So to walk, to blink, to breathe, pick your kids up, run to the corner store, whatever it is. Stuff you normally do in a day. That's gonna be less of a calorie burn for you because there's less stress on your system to create that calorie burn, right? So she's right in that fact. That's called metabolic adaptation. Everybody knows that. Even the quote unquote gym bros and meatheads that she's trying to punch down on. But all the people that are saying it's just calories in versus calories out, if you ask any of them, they'll all tell you, well, yeah, you got to have a plan too. But for some people, that's a barrier to entry, right? Some people look at it and they're like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to plan, so I'm just not going to try. I'll wait till things are less busy. I'm going to go get a coach or something when things are less busy. So it creates a barrier to entry. So that's my point with her, is you shouldn't be telling people that are excited by the fact of like, oh, it's just calories in versus calories out. Because the reality is, this is where like a doctor would say, well, my experience and stuff. Well, this is where I say, as someone who's helped train people for over a decade and a half, some high-level athletes, some soccer moms that want to lose weight, some business executives and CEOs, they all share one thing. And that's habits. The way habits affect the way our body works. Our mental acuity is all the same, whether people want to believe it or not. If you start, and this is kind of my strategy for a guide that I'm building, just a free guide that I'm giving out to people. I have my wife kind of using it now. If you just start and start small, but you stay diligent and continuous and disciplined on it, and you start seeing some sort of result, I guarantee you, you'll work harder, you'll do more, and you'll start seeing a better result. That's just the way the human brain works. There's very few people that start to see success in something that are like, oh, okay, I can just kick my feet up now. Usually the people, so she also touts a stat where like over 5 years, 80% of people have put the weight back on, meaning only 15 to 20%. So she does the mental gymnastics too, where she'll like 80%, but then only about 15 to 20, which leaves a 5% gap, are back to their original weight. Not touting that like, no, it's like 15% have maintained and accelerated their weight loss. 5% have just kind of merely maintained their weight loss. And of that 80, so she lumped kind of two categories together. There's another 20 that have maintained some form of weight loss and better health, but maybe things have gotten in the way, like injuries, whatever. And then there's about 60 who've gained the weight back. Those 60 like it's easy just to tell just a study that just looked at like this mass of people and be like, oh, well, see, like that's what happens. 60% of people gain weight back. So better to not even try, right? Like what kind of nonsense is that? Those 60, if you go in and interview everybody, and the guy who wrote that paper that she's talking about literally expressed this in his findings afterwards, is if you go and talk to those 60% of people that gain weight back over a 5-year span, more than 90% of those people ran into a roadblock. And so that's, sorry, I just got like a tickle in my throat. So that's like injury, job change, life change, stuff like that, right? So to ignore those things and say that those aren't real in the face of, you know, people trying to change their life and get healthier is mind-numbingly stupid. And for a medical doctor to be trying to push that narrative versus pushing the narrative. I gotta get this lady's at. I'll check it again. I commented on her post because of how stupid I felt it was. But yeah, it's like mind-numbingly stupid. And I usually don't take a really firm stance on a lot of this stuff. I'm usually open to ideas, but I think like her characterization of thermodynamics and calories in versus calories out versus the simplification she says of like gym bros talking about calories in versus calories out, they're like equal, you know what I mean? They're equal extreme on opposite ends. So she's mischaracterizing this one paper that claims all things to an extreme level versus they're like simplifying it to an extreme level. But then when you do that, you got to think of like what their intention is, right? So my point is, I'd rather be one of those gym bros simplifying it to the level of like encouragement. And hey, this isn't something that's like rocket science, super tough, is gonna make your life the worst ever. There's little ways you can start seeing changes. And I think where we gotta get better as a gym bro group is start inching that towards like, hey, when you start this easy, just know you're gonna see some changes, but you gotta, over time, start making that harder and work harder and diet a little stricter, and right? But you can do that within enjoying your life. But yeah, people like that try to act like thermodynamics aren't a thing, and that all these sympathetic, parasympathetic, and metabolic changes and adaptations just make it not even worth it in the first place, is crazy. Right? Especially telling people who, you can shit on gym bros all you want, right? But in most cases, like I could point to her, you're an older lady, out of shape, overweight. I know that doesn't feel good to hear, but back to us, like you can crap on gym bros all you want or crap on trainers all you want, but the reality is they have applied real world experience in helping people get better health, change their body, right? So you can say that oversimplification is nonsense and stuff like that, but the reality is it works. And then the habits of the people that I've always worked with are, yes, obviously metabolic adaptation happens, but when you start seeing changes, you start working a little harder. And that's just natural, right? We all kind of do that. So yeah, we're in our last minute here of our incline walk. Feeling pretty good. This is midpoint of week 16, not quite the midpoint, but this is an 18-week program before we start cutting. You guys are along for the ride. So we got 5 lifting workouts a week, 3 cardio workouts like this where we just hang out and shoot the crap. And you guys are along for the whole ride. So far, lost total since we started the programming Lost 80 pounds, 21% body fat. Gained 1/4 inch on both my arms, 3/4 inch around my shoulders, 1/4 inch on my legs, nothing on my butt. Obviously lost some around my waist, and gained a tiny bit on the calves, which are already big from being a chunkier guy prior to this. So that's it. That's what we're aiming to do. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Sorry, I gotta put some oil on that. But yeah, if you guys can drop a subscribe, a like, comments, they all help me out tremendously. We're trying to get 200 people on here. We have a really good community of people, so if you're new, please join for some of the lifts in the afternoon. Some of the cardio, we sometimes have some of the people on here, but yeah, really good group of people. You guys will get a chance to meet. And it's all just good people trying to, you know, get healthier, get fitter. And they just want a community of positive people trying to do the same. So appreciate you guys. Sending lots of love. That's morning cardio done. That's supposed to be a heart. Yeah, please drop a subscribe and a like. It means the world. And we'll see you tomorrow afternoon for upper body push.